Tech trap house. So Apple Music's come in and segregated the whole market. You know, Spotify was so handy when you had everything in one place, and now Apple's jumped into the mix, and now you have to look in two places, right? You knew it was going to happen, and that's just the nature of business. Gotta love competition. But so how do you get Spotify to have some of these Apple exclusives? So how do you get your Apple exclusives back on Spotify? Or if you have some local files, some local playlists, some DJ stuff that you enjoy that you want to take on the go with you and sync on your Spotify, how do you add that in? So that's what I'm going to show you today on PC, Mac, Android, and iOS. So I'm on Mac right now, but the steps on PC are exactly the same. So the first step is to add the content to your computer. So what you do is you go to Spotify, go to Preferences, and then scroll down and you'll see an area called Local Files. So the next thing you want to do is you want to click Add a Source. And so what this will do will actually point to a local folder on your computer. So say you have you've downloaded the Apple exclusive music that you wanted, or some local files, some local songs in MP3 format or whatnot. So what you do then is you point at it. My helpful tip I recommend is you can create a folder called Apple Exclusives and add all the Apple exclusives in there to sync. So I have as an example the Compton album and the new Drake and Future album. So you just simply hit open and it will then show you the Apple exclusives, the folder I called Apple Exclusives, and it's on green. So what happens next is the slider's on green. So what happens next is you go to local files and boom, there you are. You have all your songs. It'll take a moment to synchronize and upload, but it'll go right there. That's why I also recommend that if you do have a huge collection you're trying to sync over from iTunes or some other source, then it's going to be a while, so you might want to leave it. But so now it'll work on your computer, and now the question is, how do you actually get this over to your iOS and Android devices? Now, before I get into that, just one little caveat to know that you can't actually search for local files. So the global search here doesn't quite work as well as with Spotify songs provided by Spotify, and sometimes it won't pick up the album art. So that's another thing. There are a little bit of caveats to it, but still you can still get the music. So what you need to do is you actually need to create a playlist. So you can click on this song, you can shift click on the last song you want to add, right click and go to add to playlist, new playlist, and create a playlist. I've already done that, and as you'll see here, Drake and Future, What a Time It Is to Be Alive. So that is the album. So at this point, what you can do is you can hit available offline if you want these files to be locally available on your computer. You might want to do it, you might not. If you just wanted to have your local files, your special songs, your Apple exclusives on your computer, congratulations, you're done. But if you actually want to take it with you on the go on an iOS device or an Android device, there's one more major step, and it's super easy, but I'm going to show you right now on an Android and iOS device. Guys, so the next step now is to take your music on the go with you, and I'm going to show you how to actually play it on an iOS and Android device. So as you remember, so far, to recap the steps, we've added our local music on our computer, and we've made a playlist out of the songs that we wanted to include on our mobile devices. Now, why did we make a playlist? As you might be wondering, the reason is because as you'll see, actually on the left hand side, there's no local music on a mobile device, so that option is not available. So what you do is you actually make a playlist so that it's discoverable. So now let's just say we wanted to actually play some of the playlists that we've created. So as you'll see, so we created this Drake playlist for the new Drake album, and it's not available. So all we have to do, very, very simply, is just hit available offline, and there you go, it just starts downloading. Now, one little thing to keep in mind is that your computer actually has to be on and connected to Spotify to sync for the first time. So it's not downloading from the cloud on Spotify or something, it's actually downloading maybe authenticating or downloading through your computer. So just keep in mind that, in order for it to download like this, your computer has to be on. I'm going to show you on Android, and it is essentially the exact same thing. So as you'll see over here, it's the same album, and you'll see that it's downloaded on there. So another thing to keep in mind is that you'll have to actually do this on every device. So if you have multiple devices, you have to go into the playlist and hit available offline. And one little other thing I discovered today actually was, unfortunately, it's not available on PS4. So if you actually go to your PS4, you will see your playlist and you will see your songs. You just can't play them. So I suppose the local sync option isn't really available on PS4 yet. But if you guys find some other devices that you can do this the local method with and actually add your own music, let me know in the comments. I'm interested to know what else you can do it with. But it does work with Android and iOS, and of course PC and Mac.